Pick up any self-help book or listen to any motivational speaker, and the message is identical. Banish negative thoughts and focus exclusively on the peak. But any competitive field is defined by a brutal bottleneck. You have 100,000 applicants feeding into a system that only has room for 100. That is a 99.9% exclusion rate. Entering a system like that with pure optimism is equivalent to buying a lottery ticket and making major life plans based on the assumption you hold the winning numbers. Ignoring the mathematical certainty of losing doesn't make you a visionary. It turns your ambition into a blind, uncalculated risk. This risk often leads to a bad failure. This is the specific type of collapse that drains your savings, leaves you with a multi-year gap in your resume, and strains your relationships to the breaking point. We see this with people who chase high-risk schemes or who spend half a decade trying to crack a single elite exam. They build their entire existence around a statistical anomaly. This happens because we use emotional motivation during the planning phase. When you are deciding the trajectory of your career, being hyped and emotionally charged clouds your rational judgment. Raw motivation doesn't prevent failure. It merely ensures the failure will be catastrophic when the math eventually catches up with you. You can structure the exact same ambition to remove that existential threat. This is a good failure, where the financial downside is capped at 0, but the educational upside remains. Take a commission-based real estate agent. They might not close a single major deal in their first year, but they are operating with 0 capital risk while learning how to negotiate, to appraise properties, and build networks. If they walk away after 12 months with 0 sales, they haven't ruined their life. They've accumulated transferable skills that act as an insurance policy for whatever they do next. By structuring a goal this way, you walk away objectively stronger. The success or failure of the specific venture becomes secondary to your long-term survival. To execute this, we have to change how we categorize our goals. Society defines Plan A as the dream and Plan B as the realistic backup. Here is the trap. A student will declare a premier national exam as their Plan A. When asked for their Plan B, they name a secondary, slightly less elite exam. If we plot these on a probability matrix, the problem is clear. Both goals are isolated inside the same 1% probability zone. You cannot build a support structure out of a goal that has a 99% failure rate. Your safety net is just a second version of the dream. We have to invert the hierarchy. Your Plan A must be the outcome most likely to happen based on the data. In a competitive field, that means the stable, high-probability path is your foundational Plan A, and the 1% dream moves to the Plan B slot. Realigning your goals based on mathematical probability rather than emotional desire is the only way to build a trajectory that doesn't rely on luck. Accepting a 99% failure rate as your baseline reality creates a shift in how you process the stakes. When the loss is already accounted for, the weight of the attempt is lifted. High-stakes anxiety is usually a biological reaction to the threat of a bad failure, the fear that losing will destroy your future. By capping your downside and securing a stable Plan A, you remove that threat, which in turn lowers the physical stress response during the actual performance. This requires using different mindsets at different times. The planning phase demands cold realism. You sit down, look at the numbers, and assume the average outcome. Motivation is better used as a medicine. It is meant to be administered after a failure occurs, providing the momentum needed to recover and pivot. The mandate is simple. Stop trying to avoid the possibility of failure and instead design a system that expects it. When you relegate your wildest dream to a backup plan and build your foundation on high probability outcomes, the fear of failing loses its power to paralyze your progress.